Greetings, welcome to Channel 6. This is my first hike live stream. Nominally, I have unlimited data. I just set the plan up, so let me get the camera going. I'm doing this slightly different so I can actually take this off and see the chat. So if you show up and I don't say hi, it's because I can't actually see the chat. I've got a rig for hiking for my transmission device here. It has to be my cell phone because it's the only thing I have unlimited data with, and I instantly have a conflict with my tea bottle. I'm digging that up. Okay. And the phone has already ungigged itself from the mounting. Wow. How'd you do that so quick? The screen just disappeared. Let's do that. Are you seeing this? Is it good? The orientation looks right. I lost chat. I can actually take it off and check the chat. It doesn't say hiking in the... it says tea time and outdoors. It doesn't actually say hiking, and I don't have any way to adjust it. Dances? If you come up, go ahead and... I think moderators can issue the title command. Change the title to live hiking. You're probably not there. My bots won't do it. So, nominally, and if my recording at home doesn't work, I'll get this off of Twitch. We're going hiking. Trusty walking stick. It's a little bouncy. I want to go check on some berry patches. I put a note on Hiker's Discord. He might pop in. If he does, welcome. If you're checking it out, I'm live streaming out in the woods. This little guy right here is a blackberry. He's got thorns that are kind of rubbery when they're this green, but when he hardens up, like the part down here, they hurt. Oh, that reminds me. I also have a battery pack for the phone so it doesn't die. It's plugged in. Chargy. It's already done a 90-some%. So hopefully I remember I mined the camera angle. It'd be nice if I could stick this into my pocket, this chargy thing. The cable, I mean not my pocket, but stick the cable into my shirt so that it doesn't get pulled out, because it'll catch on things, but I don't have that set up. Well, hold on here. One thing I know about hiking, while I'm moving, it bounces around a lot. So as I've been filming, I've tried to keep in mind occasionally pausing to let you look. What I had been doing was attempting to film a nature cam while I hiked by mounting one camera with a battery pack somewhere. But I don't... The issue I have is getting rid of the traffic sounds. That it amazes me for picking up your voice and such. The microphone in this camera, its ability to pick up traffic noises perfectly from anywhere from a couple hundred feet to like a mile away. And the traffic cam comes through, the traffic noise comes through perfectly. Okay, now we are going to do a little thing. And the battery, it's 94%, the battery's plugged in. Here we are. I don't know what the phone is actually going to do, but it's on its gig. The cord, all the wires that I can put inside my shirt, my mic wire and everything are in the shirt. I've actually got a better Bluetooth mic. And one thing that would be nice is if the bot could tell me when people show up in chat by out loud, an out loud welcome thing. So, I have to grab a tool. You enjoy the scenery. I'll occasionally glance at chat. I got my honey with me. I got my tea. I've got a spare hair clip. I've got everything now. I've got my nippity nips that I need to nip things that are in the berry patch that I don't want. This isn't a GoPro. It doesn't have any kind of stability software, so it's going to bounce all over the place, and I can't necessarily tell what it's going to point at. So far I just see my bot. This, you can see this is a ripening berry. It's green, but it's starting to get a slight red tinge on it. That's good. I like the red tinge. The only way I can tell what the phone's actually pointed at is to unmount it. Let's go up this way. I like the sound of that. I want to go through here. I'm occasionally going to do things that you may or may not be able to see in the view. Like I said, there are things in my berry patch that need to not be in my berry patch. Well, I say my berry patch. I kind of share it with the animals and nature. But I have to pick the berries, and there are classes of weeds I don't want growing. This looks really nice. I see a lot of new raspberries coming up, and I see a lot of nice berries to pick. This last winter, a lot of blackberries died out for some reason. I'm not sure why. But their roots are going to regenerate them. And I'm not liking that. It's not easy to pick raspberries through a blackberry patch. You discover going out and picking blackberries is just fine. But the hillside is essentially a giant blackberry patch. They're everywhere. The raspberries, not so much. They're in specific areas. And little vines have already started to grow. So here we go. I don't know if you, hopefully you can see this. This raspberry here got chewed off by an animal or damaged. They get damaged easily. And there's a little bug making noise. I love the sound. It's like a little buzzing, humming sound. There's a raspberry growing right in the middle of my path. I'll let that grow. This is the front, I call this the front path. It goes all the way along the front here up to and up the hill berry patch. But we're going to turn a little bit and go out the second path. Just because I want to go past some of these berries. And there's some growing right in here. Ooh, they look even redder. Oh, can I get to those? Oh, I see some red on that one. They're turning red. They're turning red. That's truly awesome. Got to adjust my tea bottle. I have my tea bottle on a strap. Now that I'm carrying the bag, it can go in there, but when I don't have the bag, I just like to have it with me. So I just made a rude strap for it out of some tie line, some theatrical tie line, and I bring it along. I have a clip to put it on my belt, but then that pulls my pants down. Yeah, the berries are turning. Oh, this is awesome. This is uber awesome. I keep an eye on these little areas, like right in here. There's a little patch stomping into something. There's a little patch starting up in here. And first it starts out with one or two. And I see one there. And these are pretty nice sizable things coming up. Here's the old ones. The old ones in the wintertime, they turn this purple color. I don't know how it's going to autofocus on this. How is the focus? Can I focus like that? No. Marginally I can see the chat, but I can't really tell. I'll know something is there. But there's a little patch starting here. And I like to keep in, those are blackberries over there. They kind of turn reddish too before they turn black. This is one of the few areas, you can see this right up in here is a huge hump of blackberry. They have berries all over the place this year. It wasn't like that the last couple of years, but I like to keep an eye on these little areas. It's when the berries hit their peak, it's not really worth it to do more than just cruise by here, because I want to get to the big patches that we're going to. I think this is the stuff. The pollen clogs my throat, and that's why I have the honey. If you're lurking, not talking in chat, you are hiking with your host on Channel 6. I know the name says number 6, but I'm not a number. I'm a free man out hiking. And it gets pretty thick sometimes. I'll have no idea what this actually looks like till I watch the video. I've watched some of the ones I've filmed before I decided I was going to live stream this. I've been live streaming for about 5 or 6 weeks now. I started building a system. I had to upgrade my computer and my internet. Neither one of them were up to the task of live streaming. And there's a bird I hear that goes like, wee, wee. They're pretty cool birds. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that through the mic. I've actually seen one time. Ooh, look at this over here. There's some raspberries. These are raspberries right here, but here in this shady area, they won't do that good. They might make some good berries if they get enough sunlight. They need sunlight. The wild stuff's already getting tall. But this white flowery stuff you see, these are elderberries. They're really tiny BB-sized berries, and I mean, they're like, if you know the metric system, they're like 2-millimeter berries. And there'll be a whole ton of them in each group of blossoms. The birds and the animals will eat them. They have an interesting taste. They actually make wine out of it. And every time I see it, I think, that's got to take a ton of elderberries. So we'll look at the elderberries for a little bit. They're pretty cool. I know from my filming experiments that if I don't pause in my journeys, it's just all bouncy bounce all over the place. I'm wondering if there's any kind of Steadicam software I could actually... Look at this dead blackberry. Let's get that out of our way. It'll catch your clothing and claw you up. In fact, let's not have it by the trail. There's actually some raspberries up this little trail here. I'll go and check on those later. Oh, they're right there. I can see them. They go way up, like 10 feet up into a tree. I don't know if you can see where I can't tell where this goes, but it's way up there. I won't even be able to pick those without pulling the vine down. I'll leave those for the animals. They get to eat some too. The birds and the little squirrels and stuff can go up there. This is a burdock. Burdock is birds. It gets caught in your, here's a dead tree. It gets caught in your clothing really bad. Yeah, there's blackberry all over the place. I mean, it's just like growing everywhere now. This is blackberry right here. I'll just be able to walk through here, I think, and pick it. I don't concern so much about cutting down blackberry vines that are in the way because, oh, I got caught. It's all over the place. You could just walk anywhere back here and pick blackberry. If it grows good, it doesn't always grow good. Here's some wild rose bush, my woodland nemesis. I call it living barbed wire. This is grapevine right here, but this stuff, you look at, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the thorns, but you get caught by these thorns and you get tore up. They're like little hooks and they're tough. They're worse than the blackberry. So that's a good thing to avoid. And it's clobbering my path right here. The deer don't care. I think they have pretty tough hides because they'll brush through these thickets. I care. I'm not that tough a hide. My hide not so tough. This path where it goes up the hill here, I call the mid path. It's midway along. It leads up to another berry patch area. The front path's more direct. If you just showed up, welcome to Channel 6. This is literally hiking. Live streamed on a data plan, which I just upgraded to unlimited. So if it goes off suddenly, they haven't pushed it through yet. The computer says the plan's unlimited, but the cell phone doesn't. But I figure I got about an hour, and I only have about an hour to hike anyways. I was doing some things this morning. I already did a stream, and I found out it doesn't transfer between Wi-Fi and cell data if you have both on, whichever one it kicked first. But with unlimited data, ooh, one thing I want to be able to do when I'm in the studio is take the camera and go outside and chill out and then come back in. And one of the issues is it won't switch the Wi-Fi stations I have. But with cell data, if it's really unlimited and they don't mess with it, I will be able to just turn that on and go outside and come back in, because where it transfers between Wi-Fi stations, it cuts out the Droid Cam that I use. And the Droid Cam shouldn't pump out as much data as the streaming software, because the streaming software does more than just the camera. And I don't think the Droid Cam is actually 720p, whereas the streaming software is. I think the Droid Cam's stuck at 480p. Although I don't know, it catches a pretty good size. There's actually a berry patch down in here. You can't see it right now. It got kind of hidden. Oh, I want to check that out. Let's go down there. Hopefully I'm still live. This is the kind of thing I'm not going to find out until I go back and download the video off of Twitch or check it and see how long it actually lasts. This berry patch was doing better in the past. This is a dead old one right here. And it goes past some wild rose bush. Well, there's a piece over here. It's hidden behind this now. This stuff got thick. I don't actually have access to it from here. Whoops, how'd that happen? You kind of got to be an explorer. Earlier I was commenting on, I want to try to do lunch at 2 to 2:30 every day, so I can come up and stream between 3:30 and 4 and be consistent, because regular viewers like kind of consistent. But I'm an adventurous sort of person, and my life doesn't conform to like a regular schedule. It did when I was a programmer, 9 to 5, that schedule. Then after that, I became a theater technician. It's just all over the place. Sometimes you're at work early in the morning, not too often. Usually you work afternoons and evenings. I had a job where I'd get off work at the theater we worked at 11, and we'd go to a performing arts hall nearby and work till 4 in the morning, from midnight to 4. But even that varied. Two of my favorite theater calls, in Fort Myers, there was a show that we did an out for, I think. Or no, we were loading it in. Earth, Wind, and Fire were performing, and we helped them tear down. We came in at the end of their tear down. And we set up, I think it was for an auto show with Ford. And that was like 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And we worked about 5 or 6 hours, and I think I made 300 and something. It was one of my best, they call it an industrial call. It was one of my best paid calls. The other one was at the Van Wezel. We had one of the midnight to 4 a.m.s, but we had about an hour and a half load in and an hour and 15 minutes like a week later load out. And you get paid for the whole call, and it's overtime if it's after midnight. So it's like a $100 call for 2 hours and 15 minutes of work. I think it was $215. Hour and 15 in and an hour out. Yeah, it was about that. Maybe 2.5 hours. I made a couple $100. I liked those calls, although the one at Fort Myers was hard work. I can see ripening berries down there. I'll poke down in there and have a pick at them. But meanwhile, let's go back up. This part, the trail, is a combination of the first path and the second path. I didn't show you where the first path starts. And we're going up this way. I got another little side trail down to the Low Cross Trail. I have 6 trails that form a grid. Going uphill from the bottom is first path, mid path, and first path. Front path, mid path, and first path. The first path keeps going up the hill here. The first path actually kind of slants across, and then further over along the second path, there's just the old woods trees are thick, so they don't have this heavy undergrowth. They're not all jungle-like. The deer help me keep these trails because they use them too. We both kind of keep the trails clear, and if I'm on the trail enough, it stays pretty clear. The deer don't keep it that clear. I gotta walk on it. I think this is the stuff right here. You see this pollen coming out? Look at that. I don't know if that's going to show up in the camera, but when it rains, it's been raining, it's been sprinkling, it's nice. The pollen doesn't puff out in a dust cloud and choke me. Oh, can we see this? I'm going to put my work bag and lean my stick and hope it stays on this sumac tree. It doesn't want to. The other tree. Okay. I'm checking chat. I see something in chat. I don't know what it is. Stream elements. Says I'm live. Chat. Yeah. So these are berries. These, can I see these? Where are they? I gotta remember where the camera is. I'm looking at the phone upside down. I'm wiggling them. My hand. Oh, down there. I really, there it is. Yeah, these are berries. They're green and they've got a little red tinge. These are actually new berry blossoms. And bees will come and get into that, and in the center of it, there's a new young berry growing. I hope that it autofocuses on it. Let's see. I really can't tell what this is pointing, because by the time it's pointed at it, I can't see it on the screen. I've got the screen side pointed outwards. But those are raspberry flowers. Maybe I back up and you'll be able to see it. Those are raspberry flowers. This is just one vine. It's growing pretty good. I'm adjusting my stuff. It's all clumped up. It's got a root right here by the trail, and it goes all the way over there. It goes about 8 feet. They can go about 16 feet. If they go up into a tree and come back down, they can easily go 8 to 10 feet up and back down. They can grow a ways. What I'll do coming by on the way over, I'll just eat some of these. I'll just pick some and eat them. And my bag has got holes in it. I need a new my hiking bags get torn up. I should get a really tough bag. I like coming out here because the traffic noises die out and I hear the birds and animals. maybe we'll get to see a deer. That would be pretty cool. I'm hoping now that I can live stream hikes that some of my friends that think it's cool are watching. I'm talking to you, hiker. And then I get to show you some of the experiences I have that don't happen too frequently. I was coming back from a hike one day and there was this big groundhog just sitting there along the trail. And he watched me walk by. And then after I left, he started making this terrible chittering noise. He was down in his groundhog hole and I thought maybe he was having a bit of fun. But no, he chased a rabbit out. There was a rabbit like raiding his hole, his supplies. And I got to see that. A bird just took off. I don't know what kind it was, I didn't see it. I kind of sneak up on animals sometimes. I just have this quiet way of moving through here. If you've ever hiked with somebody, people are noisy walking through the woods. It amazes me, like, how you make so much noise. I can see the bird. But people are just noisy. They bumble along. If you walk carefully, and the trail is nice, you can actually move pretty quietly. I've been doing it a long time. I was like this as a kid. I'd go out. Some of my friends would come with me, and I could pick their position out if they were moving. If they were sitting still, we'd come back here and play little hide and seek kind of games, but not exactly hide and seek. And we'd come and roam around back here. And I could, ooh, that's wild. That has the appearance, oh, it's just flower things. That's what the tips of the mulberries look like. But I'd come back here and I could rove all around. It wasn't like this. I'll show you what it was like. I'd come back here and rove all around, and then, where were you? We couldn't find you. It's like, well, I went right past you. I was like 20 feet away. Like, no, you weren't. You're lying. But I was there. Just like on the other side of some of this brush, and I'd hear them walking through, and I'd sit here and watch and just stand and not make a noise. There's a patch down here I'm going to look at before I go out the rest of the second path. This is just a little jumper path. I didn't number this one. So up and down the hill I have front path, mid path, and first path. Going across, I have the low cross, which goes across the bottom of the hill. And that's the path I'll always start out on. I got the low cross. We got a duck under these. These are crabapple trees. They have some thorny thorns. You don't want to get poked by them. Even when they're old, they're gnarly. 1-inch thorns, 1.25-inch thorns. Although if you were out in the woods and you had to nail something together, if you had to pin something, they'd probably be pretty good. This is blackberry here. I really don't know until I see the film what's visible. But that's blackberry. I'll pick some of that. We'll be picking some of that. Say, we'll be picking. You come with me. If you follow me, I'll be going on more hikes. If you want to subscribe, I'm going to come up with something as a bonus for subscribers. I mean, there's going to be emotes. I'm going to make some woodland emotes. I'm going to make some video game emotes. I'll make some Jeep emotes. I'll make some cool stuff. Oh, groundhog emote. That'd be a great one. Happy groundhog. Yeah, and my rig is getting wonky here. What you do to me? They're green. These are big ones. These are going to be nice berries. They're beautiful. And they have a slight red tinge. I can already see. It's almost like they're turning the purple color that they turn. This is a nice area. This started growing a couple years ago, this little patch. And it's on the way to some other patches. It's interesting, like all along some of my paths, patches have started to grow up. This is a sumac tree right here. They grow all over. This stuff just grows like weeds. The raspberry is a little pickier. The blackberry is practically a weed. If you cut it, it'll keep growing. It'll grow more. I've got some across my path and I cut them, and a month later I cut them, and a month later I cut them, and in the fall I'll come back after the winter and go down the path and they were growing again. They don't stop. Yeah, those are nice berries right there. Those are going to be good. I'll pick those. Well, there's another patch behind us here. Back along a little, poke through a little area. A little bit of slip. My off-road package needs some new boots here. I've had these boots for about 3 years and they're starting to wear a little thin. There's some over here, and on the other side of this thick vine there's more. I'll pick out of that patch in the early days. Oh, they're doing pretty nice. Once they peak, I go to the big patches that we're headed to because that's where the best picking is. I want to go in, and I still don't have an example container. I might bring bigger containers this year. I've been collecting these bigger sour cream containers. After the shutdown, I started buying a bigger container just so I didn't have to go out and deal with the annoying as often. A lot of people, the first time they go hiking, the bugs bother them, the plants bother them. Sometimes smells get to people. And they don't go hiking very often. And it might be cold or raining. I've been out in hailstorms. This is the second path back trail over here. But to me, this is perfect. This is where I'm at comfort. I'm home here. I belong here. I'd rather not deal with the grocery store and the people and the noise. The clobber. And now you have a whole host of people wearing masks that if you saw them, you know there's no point. They might as well take them off. I know the store employees just have them half-heartedly mounted because they've been told they have to wear them. But the other people that are just wearing them that way. You know, I see this right here. Hopefully I didn't put my finger in front of the camera. Deer lay down and mash down the grass and take a little nap on the trail or just off the trail. And this looks like a place where deer might have laid down. They make little nests out here at night. And sometimes you'll be going down a trail like this and you'll just see an area stomped down. And we have a little maple tree right here. Hopefully I got that. I'm hoping he grows up into a slightly bigger maple tree. It'll be nice shade. And then we have blackberry clobbering my trail. We've also got wild rosebush along this trail that I don't want him coming down here in my space. My territory. I have to walk through here, and you'll make it hard. Down this way, this has been my work area. I've got another one. This is one of my big patches. There's a whole lot of berries in this area. And what I might do today, when I get a look at what time it is, take a little break. I had breakfast, so I didn't bring a snack. Youch. I got jabbies. Oh, you're one I already cut out. But going down this way, all these blackberries died out, and I'm making sure they don't clobber my trail. Because they'll come back. They'll come back hardcore. Down here, it actually coming down this way, I realized, here's another bare spot. I realized it hides very well. Right in front of us is a sizable berry patch, but this other stuff grows up in front of it. And I'll clean some of that out while I'm picking berries. But it actually has a good amount of berries in it. And that's got blackberries, but there are blackberries everywhere. The only thing is the raspberries start to grow over my trails. And I move my trails out and they expand, and I move out and they expand. it gets to where it's hard to get in and you actually have to clobber some of the blackberry. And I'm just looking, I see the red tinge coming into the berries. Maybe a week. Oh, it'll be really nice. It's a beautiful time of the year to be out here because the summertime heat, like normally we had summertime heat a week and a half ago. The summertime heat hasn't come in yet. And this is where I clobbered some rose bush out of my raspberries. The summertime heat hasn't come in yet, so it's pleasant. It's not like uber sweaty. I'm just starting to sweat a little bit. I see red berries for sure. I am going to unmount this so I can actually tell what I'm filming for a little bit. And I've just realized an issue with my tea bottles coming off too, because I might have to find a different way to mount the tea bottle. Water bottle, tea. I got a bigger water bottle because this isn't enough for a 5-hour dealio. I can do this, I think. I think it'll stay here. But I'm going to unclip this so I can tell for sure. Check chat. Don't go off the wire. I'm your host with Channel 6. You've been watching me hike. It says I'm live. I hope so. See if I can get some good light. I got my camera in a special rig. My phone's got this case with these little knobs on the side. And I rigged it up into this special rig to hold it. But let's see if we can get... And I don't exactly know what I'm filming. And it's going to flop around. I don't want to hit the off button. Try and show you this. Right here is a ripening berry. I'm looking for my finger right there. That's a ripening berry. In maybe another week I'll be able to start picking here. I'm not surprised that this area is ripening up first. And I gotta watch my rig lines. Oh, I set my bag down on a dead rose bush. Partially dead. We're gonna go through over here. I have a little seat. I heard something move. You missed it. I should have kept the rig on. There was a groundhog here. And we're in the brush. A groundhog just went down into this burrow. Right in front of me. Oh, I should have kept the rig on. You might have seen it because it kind of points down. This was my little break area when I stopped here before. I got a seat here. This is where I set up my break. I'm going to take a little break today. See what time it is. 2. And I just got here from this hike. It's about time to go back and have lunch. But we'll make a little stop here. I don't know how many people are lurking because the Stream Elements app on the phone, the user count does not update for some reason. And I've checked it in Twitch. And if I check Twitch, I'll knock out the I gotta get my chair out. I have a chair here. I'll knock out the Bluetooth mic. When you leave Stream Elements, everything's fine. When you come back in, it drops the mic. And it doesn't tell you it dropped it. It says reconnected. Woo. I'm trying to get my rig to a viable point. This is always going to be an unstable, unsteady kind of... you got a little nature cam here. I'm going to poke over around the corner and check something. I'll be right back. Leave the Bluetooth here so it doesn't disconnect. You watch the Nature Cam. Just completing some of my tasks. So, let's see what this looks like. Break area. I went over there to look around the corner. I'm pointing up in the air a little bit. This isn't a studio. I can't control the camera or anything. It is what it is. Red berries. They don't just have a red tinge, they're red. So we're going to go take a look at that before we go back. It's already 2 o'clock. I'd like to have my lunch so I can do my afternoon stream. If you're enjoying this, oh, let me get the Bluetooth. I think the Bluetooth is still working. As I was saying, if you're lurking and listening, I found red berries over there. Get in there. I'm just using my ear as a hook. I don't have any audio. I'm just using this for the mic element. I found red berries over there. We'll go take a look. Normally at this point, if I'd been out for like an hour, hour and a half, I'd stop, have some water or tea, have a little snack. I see bugs flying all over. I don't know if you can see them in the video. They're like, a lot of people don't like the bugs, especially the ones that bite. Mosquitoes are truly annoying. My seat isn't straight. I've had this before and it was pretty good. I think I was further up the hill, but the filming rig points down a little bit. I suppose I could update my title to hiking. I don't know, I got it pretty steady on my Nature Cam. I would actually like it to point up. Oh, I'm learning how to adjust. I don't have a tripod, it's on my stick. It won't stay. It's leaning against a blackberry. Oh, you went sailing. I unbalanced it. And it's not quite filming rig. Let's see how that is. I'd have to go over to Twitch to... Oh, I lost my thing. I'd actually have to go over to Twitch to... this is my plug. what happened here. I've got my power pack to keep the camera going, and I just tucked it in my back pocket to protect the things, and the cord came out somehow. It already disappeared. So I need a little bit more to plug the phone in there. And I don't know if that's interfering with the filming with the rig. Ouch. You only get to bite me one time. Plants, you only get to bite me one time, and then you're getting deplanted. This is home. Here. Better. Closer to home. More ideal for me. I come out here anytime I can. Even when there aren't any berries. And we had a berry bush Mom wanted me to cut out. It's an everbearing, but the everbearing blackberry work great. They'll have berries about 4 or 5 times throughout the season, especially if they start early like they did this year. The raspberries, it gets berries one time, then it gets flowers, and it never gets berries. But I brought it out anyways. I'm hoping maybe in the outside environment that might encourage it to, because it'd be nice to come out like in September and October and have berries to pick, even in one little area. There's a regular raspberry, it has some kind of mutation, and it'll actually have just like a couple of these pods. I don't got any examples, but just like one pod will come up with about 20 berries in late August, and I'll find it. It's like, ooh, bonus. And they taste so good. They taste so good when they're fresh. Little bit here. I'm going to finish my tea and we'll go look at these ripe berries. I'm actually bumping the camera because I'm caught on a vine or something that's touching it. There we go. But we'll go look at those red berries. They're actually proper red, not just a tinge. Those are probably, this patch is probably going to be my first then. I've got a further away patch I haven't had a chance to check. I don't know how many hikes I'm going to live stream, how many pickings. The early pickings I'll stream a few, but when it's down to coming out for 5 hours to just pick berries, I don't know if I'm going to want to deal with the streaming equipment, because at that point, and it'll probably be about 12, 13 days from now. At that point, it's get up in the morning, hit the trail by 10:30, and just come out here and pick for 5 hours. Because if I'm out here by 10:30, that's 3:30 that I'm headed back for lunch. And I'll be doing that about 5 or 6 times. So those days, my afternoon streams are going to start late, and I'm going to be tired. Because I won't stop my every other day runs. I'll keep doing those. So that's a task. And early ones I'll film like this, I'll broadcast. It still says I'm live. I wonder where my date is at. I'm going to do this. I'll put the empty tea bottle can go in here. Oh, I should have had some honey before I finished the tea. Honey. Great Lakes Premium Gold. I don't mind pimping out honey, because I've sampled, let's see, tea. I've had about 20 different types of tea. I've had about 150 to 200 different beers before I set that aside for running. And I've probably had about 20 or 30 different kinds of honey. Buckwheat's one of my favorite. Buckwheat and wildflower. Buckwheat has a really wild honey taste. It's almost a bitter, it's a very dark honey. It's almost a bitter taste. So I'm going to take the thing. Yeah, if I tilt it down like this, you're up against the sky and I'm going to get dark. But let's see if we can go nature cam. I can't, oh, it's in the rig. Do I de-rig? Bear with me while I make some adjustments. I got to put this back on to hike. I'm seeing if I can free up the camera, and I don't want to let it sit too long without the battery pack. Doikity doikity. Hello there, Zyphers. Hey man, how's it going? We're out. Ooh, it's giving me a data warning even though I upgraded to unlimited. We're out here hiking. I'm out here hiking. I'm doing great. I'm looking at one of my berry patches. Let me put my chair away. I have a chair hiding out here. I came out to live stream one of my hikes. I just upgraded my cell phone to unlimited. I figure in the long run it'll be worth it. But I poked over here while I had the camera sitting there, and I see over there red berries that are ripening up. Most of them are green with just a tinge, like these right here. This is a great area, and I don't think that focused. This is a great area to pick berries. I gotta sneak through. Let me sneak through. He doesn't want me to sneak through. Ooh. I figure I spend so much time out here. Oh yeah, these are raspberries. Let's see, focus on those, my machine. These are the new raspberries this season. I've been watching the flowers and watching them grow for a couple of weeks. And over here, I poked over this way. Something damaged the raspberry. I poked over this way, and I don't know how easy it is to get through here. Blackberries are in my way. But up there, there's red berries. Over there. I suppose I could make my way. I'm just looking at what I'm clobbering to climb over. One of the things I'm clobbering are new raspberries. I see the red berries. I want to get to them. We got to go around. It's too thick. Okay. Enjoy your food. Get something nice, I hope. I'm going to make my way over. I was actually about to hike back. It's coming up on my lunchtime. I had a late start today. I was setting up the new cell data and petting a kitty. Yeah, no easy way to get through here. There used to be a way through here. That's the thing about the wild areas. They don't necessarily cooperate with your plans. And when you do come back, I'm actually putting the filming rig back on. Of course, then I can't tell what it's pointed at, but at least it's pointed outwards. Because I need the power into the camera. Charging. 91%. That's good. Oh wait, I want to check the I actually want to check the data. Let's see. I'll drop the Bluetooth when I do this, but it hasn't updated me. This might drop out suddenly because it's not showing my new unlimited data, and I don't know why. So I only have a little bit left. I won't even be able to come up in chat. I won't even be able to come up in chat and explain that. Hopefully you're listening. I'm putting my phone rig back on right now. If you hear crinkling sounds, it's my phone holder. It got stuck. Why are you stuck? How are you stuck? That's a weird thing that it did. Okay. So this might drop out suddenly. Then the computer says it's unlimited. Maybe it does drop out, that's okay. I'm just going to keep talking. So, we have a black raspberry here with some blight on it. That won't grow berries. I can trim that. This used to be open. I don't know. I know this is dead. I don't know when it decided not to be open. But at some point it did. That's blighted. Cut out the blight stuff. I think I actually have to duck under this arch right here. At least with the blighted raspberries, you don't have to worry about damaging them. Hopefully, the new data plan is kicked in and my phone's just confused because it's not updating. I might actually have to power the phone off and power it back on. But on their side, I should be on the new data plan. There's new raspberries coming up here and they got munched. Animals will come along, rabbits especially, in my back. Greetings, we might be back. It seems that my phone's got a cap I set because this says I'm streaming. I just checked Discord and it's got new messages, so I think I'm up. I think I'm on. I'm going to continue the hike back because I got to hike all the way back anyways. Put the rig back on here. I don't know what it did, but it dropped out. And it's complaining about going over the limit. I guess I didn't have Stream Elements permitted to go over a limit that I set. Just to warn, because I had a 2 gig limit before and now I'm unlimited. So I don't know what the deal is. Let's finish the hike. It looks like I'm online. Yeah. Let me see if I can see that. I'm reading it upside down. Hello, Katanu. Doo-doo-doo. I just put this on. I'm trying to read that. You're hosting me. Thank you. Yeah, hello. I'm out hiking. I set my phone to unlimited data. I upgraded my plan to unlimited data, but it still dropped out at 2 gig. And I'm going to have to dig through the phone options. I think it's a limit I set. And it might just be that I didn't have Stream Elements set to ignore the data limit. But I got to hike back. I was out here checking on my berries. I say my berries, but I share them with the animals. There's a lot of ripening berries. There's actually some berries that are almost ripe that I just went by. But I'm done. I'm headed back. It's lunchtime. I was actually planning on being back at 2:30, but then I saw the red berries. Some of them are getting the ripening tinge, but these ones are actually red. Most of them are just green. They're probably hard to see. They're right in front of us. Let me see if I can get through right here. There's a little path. It's hard to tell what I'm pointing the camera at, but these are raspberries. These are really green ones. They got to ripen up. They run about a 3 or 4 week cycle that some of them ripen up and you start picking, and I'll have about 5 or 6 picking days at peak to grab all the ones I want. This is my nemesis, wild rose bush. If I let it grow over the paths and into the berry patches, it clobbers me. I call it living barbed wire. No fun. Whatever this is, it smells really good. Mom's got a spice bush in the backyard that kind of smells like that. So it might just be wild spice bush. Contrary to my thoughts, spice bush does not grow spices. It's just a bush. 30, 35 years ago when I was a kid, the whole woods looked like this. There's maybe 20 acres here. And I'll pause once I get up into this area. Most of it looked like this. And you could only pick berries on the periphery. Then something changed hands or something, and they cut it all down. And I also don't know. Well, I'm not on. Somehow I'm not on Stream Elements anymore. That means I'm going to drop out the Bluetooth. The orientation looks wrong, and the camera's pointed the wrong way. Wow, Stream Elements, how you do all this? And I'm doing this upside down and backwards. I'm developing some unique. I'm trying to bring on the Bluetooth mic. I guess it's on? It's not letting me turn on. I'm developing some unique streaming skills. But I don't know what it was pointed at before. Once it got, I don't know how it got minimized. It must have got bumped. But as I was saying 30 years ago, my boyhood woods look like this. I actually had a plan to come back and acquire it, but that didn't work out. But it had this little bit of underbrush and mostly clear, some paths. And then they cut down most of it about, I think, starting at the end of the 90s. I wouldn't have been able probably to do my plan anyways, even if it worked out the way I wanted. I'm trying to there adjust my headset. But it still turned out pretty nice because what they had cut down to a field in 2004 has grown up into this thicket. And it's got a lot of berry patches now, where before the only place you could pick berries was around the outside. And there's not that much around the outside. I know from filming this, I started filming with a camera. Actually, last year, I'm trying to find those files. Walking around is kind of bouncy bounce. So I occasionally pause so you can get a good feel for it, especially where it looks really nice like this. And just kind of hope that the camera's pointed the way I want. I've got it rigged so it sort of points down at the trail so you can tell where we're going when I'm walking. But some of these like little scenes I like to pause. I have a little meditation spot I like to stop at and just sit there and listen to nature. What's really nice is back here, sometimes the traffic noise just dies out. I see you there, wild rose bush. No can has. And it's so peaceful back here. I come back here whenever I can. I haven't had as much hiking as in past years because of live streaming. And then one day it's like, wait, maybe I could live stream my hikes. But I had to process the idea about bumping up my cell phone data plan, because it just about doubled the cost of it. So I'm kind of hoping it works out. I think that this will be pretty popular for people that can't come out to an area like this or don't feel comfortable. And I can come out and show you what it's like. Well, because I'm going to be here anyways, and then this will make it easier now when I want to go hiking. I won't be struggling between, do I live stream this morning, do I hike? I'll just go hike and live stream. Problem solved. I got some good advice that was the way to go. And this is an area in the past where I saw morel mushrooms. They're like this wild kind of mushroom, this fungus that grows that apparently people really like. They're a delicacy. I think it's too late though. I'm looking through here, and there's some blackberries and raspberries in here, but I think it's too late. Because I think they happen earlier in May, and I didn't see any this year. But then there are other people that come and pick them too. I'm keeping my eyes open. Oh, we have our favorite wild rose bush here. Yeah, I see what you're doing there. There's bits of a berry patch down in here, but I think it gets too much shade. It never does much. It does grow, though, but it doesn't produce many berries. It didn't used to have so much traffic noise, but they put a toll road in out back behind here. And it doesn't really have a lot of traffic, but it has enough. The interesting thing I find about traffic on roads is it seems to be designed for maximum noise. It's just such a noisy thing. Got some berry vines with, I'm trying to remember what this stuff is. Smells nice. Honeysuckle? I think it's honeysuckle. This is a nice berry vine right here. These will get big. One year I picked a lot here and it looks pretty good this year. Last year it just comes and goes in this area for some reason. And I don't know what the driving force for this vine is. He's wrapped up in this other vine. The big patches where I do most of my picking, I leave the small patches to the animals. Trying to suss out the actual path here. I think we're going to take a shortcut because I want to get back to eat lunch. And I say shortcut, we're just going to pop out into this field that is past due to be mowed. I thought the farmer would have cut it by now. They've had dry days. And I don't know. But they may have equipment broken down or some other issue. I know he's taking care of extra cows because the auction didn't go off this spring where they sell the cows because of the shutdown. So he might have extra cows to deal with, and that might be slowing down. Of course, he needs the hay to feed his cows in the winter. He needs to cut this and bale it up, and it looks really nice right now. In another month, it'll be clobbered with weeds. Ooh. This looks like an area where deer make a little nest at night and sleep, like a little deer bed. They push the weeds down like that. It looks like they've been here a good bit. Because they've turned some of that stuff yellow like they've been here a couple times. I have a path going through in there, but this is a little bit quicker. And I've checked on about 4 different berry patches today, so I'm pretty satisfied. One day I gotta get a proper 2-hour, 3-hour hike, and I'm gonna go all the way out back. And yeah, if you're typing in chat, I can't see it right now. It's on the front of the phone, which is pointed out at the wild area I'm walking through here. Once I get most of the way back, I'll see what's in it. I'm gonna have to download all this and edit it together for the upload to YouTube because my data cap apparently didn't get cleared when I went to unlimited data, and it kicked my stream down on me. And I couldn't find it. I was looking at it for a few minutes and I couldn't find where it's set. I know I set a warning at 1.8 gig because I had a 2 gig limit, but I actually had to tell it to let the app go over the 2 gig limit. And I don't remember seeing that before. And I don't want to have to do that every time, so I'm going to have to look for a permanent setting. Lunch is going to be good. I wonder what's for lunch today. What did I have for lunch yesterday? I think I had chicken, but there's no chicken left. This tree is my little break spot. Oh, I don't even have the chat loaded. I'm looking at it upside down. Click, chat. There we are. You said some stuff. Hi there. That's still you, Katanu? Whoever else stopped by, welcome. I'm out live streaming a hike. I decided it was worth it to bump my data plan on my cell phone up to unlimited to show people this. It's about a week before berry picking kicks off. I saw some red berries today, and I'm going to look through the recording and do some screen caps and probably post them on Hiker's Discord. Seems more appropriate on his Discord than mine. At least hopefully I got a screen cap of that, because that was about when my data kicked off and died. I just like to stop here and relax a little bit, and hopefully the camera's pointed at the right spot. Just chill. Just take a minute to soak it all in. It's one of those birds. It's sitting over there. I can actually see it. It's sitting in a sumac tree. I don't know if I can point to it in the camera. Up there it goes. It flew. It's like black with a slightly blue tinge. I was picking up on top of the hill one day, and there was one just like following me around doing that the whole time. It's like, wow, bird. I can see some raspberries from here and a whole pile of there's blackberries. There's so many you can't even pick them. I'm going to pick blackberries this year. They're all over the place. I told my friend who's the technical director at the theater that my new career choice wasn't really compatible. He didn't say anything, but I could tell he was disappointed, although I know he wasn't surprised. It's sort of a rude place to work at, the theater I was at. It's nice. It's a beautiful building. It's almost 100 years old. Construction started in 1919 and I think finished in 1922. I'll have to maybe film it. I might stream from there because it's a beautiful building. It's got Art Deco style. It's got like an old school lobby. They refurbished it in the 80s. I think late 80s, and started doing classic films, and they do touring musicians like small bands, small acts, cover bands. We've had like Johnny Cash covers and country bands. I think we had a John Denver. We had a John Denver guy. He looked and sounded like John Denver. He was a pretty good. What do they call the celebrity lookalikes? Yeah, celebrity lookalike. He was a pretty good lookalike. And we have them come through, and little Charlie Brown was supposed to come through the play, and we put on a local production because it canceled. That was my last show in February. And we have a high school that does a show, Geibel. They come in and do a show, and then about 4 or 5 dance places. And the dance places weren't able to do their graduations this year, so they're making a mess. They're trying to start back up and get all this to work. We got a little crabapple forest here. I keep them off my trail because I don't know if there's any of them here. Oh, yeah. Hopefully the camera points at this. That's like an 1.5-inch spike. These things hurt. That little thing right there. So I keep those cleared off the trail. They're painful. This is my low cross trail going back. If you showed up, I've got about 5 minutes of hike left. I think I'm going to shut down when I get to the end here. I'm going back to have lunch, and then I'll be up for my usual afternoon. I don't know if there's any special projects, but if there aren't, I'm not sure what I'm doing this afternoon. I think I decided I wanted Monday and Wednesdays to be the vintage gaming days. And I'm in the middle. I might do that, because that's only about an hour. I've got the setup down pretty good now. Oh, I'm walking through this stuff right here. If this stuff's in the camera, is sticky, and it has these little burrs. It grows in one of my berry patches, and it's sort of annoying to pick through. I try to pull it out. And right in here, I had an encounter with a groundhog. He has a home back in there. He was just sitting right around in here one day, and I walked by, and he was maybe 6-7 feet away. And I know that I can't go and pet them, so I kept going. And then I heard this terrible chittering. And he was down in his groundhog hole, and I thought maybe he was having a good old time. But no, he chased a bunny out. A rabbit had gone down to raid his stores. Well, I could just film this, but I went to live streaming it because it's a little bit different to interact with. And occasionally I come across deer and groundhogs and different animals, and it's a unique experience. And I think it would be pretty cool if people could watch that. I know that, oh, look at these raspberries. See, these are starting to get a tinge. Oh, there's some missing. They didn't make it. They're starting to get like a little red tinge. A little bit of a tint to them, but they're still green. Those will probably be ripe in about 12 days, but I saw some red ones that'll be ripe in about a week. Maybe 6 to 8 days. Every other day, I try to go hiking. Not always. Sometimes I got to mow grass or do gardening or stuff. But I try to go hiking every other day. Oh, my lunch is getting knocked late, but there's a patch. There's a little couple growing up here I want to see. I see a whole ton of blackberry. There's a vine growing right here. It fell over on the path, so I'm walking around it. And there's another vine up in here somewhere. It's hiding amongst the blackberries, but I know it's here. There's a new one coming up. It's in here somewhere. I'll stop by and pick some on the way out, but all the way up the hill, just blackberries, 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 blackberries. They're everywhere this year. But it would be kind of nice because not only I can live stream it, and then I can download the video off of Twitch and store it. And eventually I might put together some hiking montages and some video game montages. But it could even be clipped on Twitch itself. I don't really like their clip interface. There's a good bit of raspberry patch right in here, but it's hard to see. It's sizable, but it doesn't do what the patches out in the open do. It doesn't produce the same way, except for this little part right over in here really kicks. But I figure it'll be pretty cool to show off my picking exploits and maybe have an encounter with a deer or 2 or 3. Because you don't get to see those, and you don't often get to see them up close. And for some reason, animals don't always take off at sighting me. I've had them actually like just be right over by these trees and let me walk past them, as long as I don't make any sudden moves or noises. But then I do have a calmer hiking style than other people I've been hiking with. And I can't say what the difference is. They're just noisy and raucous and loud, boisterous. They like to hit things with their stick. They like to hit the underbrush. This is kind of a focal point of the start of my hike, so I think up here we're going to call it to a conclusion, mostly for the privacy of my neighbors. I haven't exactly told them I'm doing all this filming. Well, my one neighbor knows, because I was doing gardening one day. I'm like, you're going to be on the internet if you come over here. And he's like, I don't care. So I think we'll ungig right here. It's been a great hike. It's always a good hike. Kind of perfected my rig. Little bumpy while I get her off here. I hope you enjoyed hiking on Channel 6. Are you talking about the crab apple spikes? Yeah, those look pretty nasty. Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm going to stream every hike, and probably not the really busy berry picking, but at least 3 or 4 berry picking and 1 or 2 hikes a week. I'll see how it goes. Let's see if I'm impressed. Where's the battery? Yeah, the battery pack does pretty good. The phone's at 90%. So I got to figure out this data cap so it doesn't knock it offline. But that was hiking through that area on Channel 6 with me. And I'll be back on later. I'll be seeing you. You take care. That is the end of this portion of the stream. Bye-bye.